So, we're now only days away from the launch of Harley Davidson's Pan America. But what do we know so far? Stay tuned to find out. The channel for the latest in motorcycle news, views and tech reviews. So, Harley Davidson is keeping the America quite close to the chest in terms of specs and what we can accept from the launch on Monday. But they have released plenty of teasing videos for us that if we look at more detail, we can work out what to expect from the launch on Monday. Now I've pulled this first picture out as we can, with 4 Pan Americas in front of us here, we can actually see that there's sort of 2 specific models here. Now, much like the rest of the adventure bike world, all the manufacturers seem to have 2 focuses for their adventure motorcycles. One specifically for the road orientated touring adventure motorcyclist, and those that want to venture more off-road and do much more gravel and dirt and mud type riding. Now if you look closely on the left on the black Pan America, we can see there that just about see that there's no hand guards on that model, whereas you look over to the one on the right, the sort of the white and orange Pan America, you can see that one's equipped with the hand guards. You can also see on the one on the right just about that it got the crash bars fitted, whereas the one on the left doesn't, and we can see a bit more closely in one of the other pictures I'm going to show. Also within this this picture here, we can actually see that the 2 models are double upped. So we have the black road oriented version at the front left and also up in the rear on the right side. Whereas the right front is obviously the Pan America off-road version, and at the back the same version, the off-road version, but equipped with the optional touring luggage, the hard luggage from Trek. Now we've also got another picture here of the 4 Pan Americas of the 2x2 of the 2 models. We can see that the hard luggage version has moved to the front here in this picture. Now another picture here of the 2 models that we're going to see launched on Monday side by side. One thing I did forget from the first picture is that you could see that the black model with the more road orientated model actually had its screen lifted up further than the off-road variant on the right. So just to show there that the screen is adjustable. Interesting picture here from an adventure bike rider's perspective is why are the 2 guys sitting down here, specifically the one on the right here with his leg outstretched. I think obviously Harley Davidson have picked up some off-road riders here that are more dirt cross experienced and actually have no experience whatsoever on adventure bikes. The only thing that guy's going to do there with the weight of his leg is probably break it if that lands down. I have no idea what he's doing. He's obviously not experienced on adventure bikes. The weight of your leg has no effect compared to the what we suspect is probably over a 250 kilogram motorcycle here. But interesting to see them side by side. I'm not quite sure of the wheel sizes here, if there's a difference between the 2 models. I'd expect the road orientated there on the left hand side, the black model, to have a cast wheel of maybe 17 inches in diameter, but I'm not quite sure. Looking from the pictures, maybe all the wheels are 19 inches, whether they're cast or certainly spoked for the off-road version. Okay, so the next picture we've got here is the fully loaded off-road version of the Pan America, and here you can see it's complete with all the luggage, the Trek luggage, and interestingly you can probably spot at the front that this bike's got the optional fog lamps or driving lamps fitted to the front of the motorcycle. Those with a keener eye might look just towards behind where the rider's right foot is, that there is some sort of guard covering the exhaust. So this is probably part of the special off-road version with its crash bars, has actually got some sort of protector covering the exhaust from those little drops that you might have. Now the next picture we have are the 2 bikes side by side riding together, the road version closest to our view and the fully loaded off-road version riding up ahead. Both riders standing up as they should in the off-road position, but this is where we can get a much closer look to the side of the road-orientated version of the Pan America. Still not clear here what type of wheels, whether they are a cast and whether they're a smaller diameter than the off-road version, but we can certainly see here that the road version doesn't come with the crash bars that'll be on the more off-road focused Pan America. And the final picture I've taken from the little snippet videos that we've had from Harley Davidson. We can again see the road version this time at the front with the fully loaded off-road S version following behind. One thing I have not mentioned so far is I'm hearing that the off-road version, the electronic suspension that we expect to come with that bike, as opposed to probably a more mechanical suspension on the road orientated version, that electronic suspension on the off-road S version will actually lower itself when it comes to a halt. So those of shorter leg will find it easier to mount and dismount, and especially at the red lights, the stop lights, that you'll be able to put those feet down just to give you that stability. Hopefully those rumours are true, and it will allow the likes of myself with shorter in leg to comfortably come to a stop on the motorcycle. We can see that road version out ahead. I think again what I'm picking up here is Harley Davidson have used probably in-house riders that they use, rather than going for experienced off-road adventure riders that probably associate themselves with other brands. For secrecy, they've obviously kept the bike in-house and its ability and credentials, because for me it's obvious here that these two riders are not used to riding adventure bikes at all. They're both remaining in a seated position here in a gravel turn. The rider out in front looks somewhat precarious there and has actually dabbed his left foot down. Both of these riders right now should be in the upright position, standing up on the pegs, turning the bike to the left to go around the left-hand corner, which would mean moving your body weight to the right. Some people would call this weighting the right peg. You're not actually pressing down on the peg. Somebody have a complete wrong perception of this. It actually means moving your centre of gravity over to your right leg. So they should be counterbalancing the bike. The bike should be down on the left, but they should be over on the right. And then it's a quite simple power out manoeuvre. The electronics on this bike, I suspect, is no different to my Triumph Tiger, and the traction control will kick in and make you power slide out of that looking like a hero, when actually the electronics are doing it all for you. So in summary, in tomorrow's Pan America launch for Harley Davidson, we're expecting essentially two models, just the same as every other manufacturer. Most manufacturers go for a road version and an off-road focused version. We're going to see exactly the same from Harley Davidson, with a standard and an S or special edition for off-road. Most manufacturers tend to do 3 or 4 various levels of equipment throughout the range of each of these bikes. I think from Harley we're just going to see the 2 models loaded to the base expectation for each of the riders, whether it's a road or an off-road, and the extras will be optional extras such as the luggage, the fog lamps, the heated grips, etc. So what do we know from each of the models so far? Well, we expect the standard to come with a cast wheel, maybe 7 inches, but from the videos it looks like they're both running maybe the same 19-inch wheel. The standard won't come with crash bars, won't come with handguards, probably some sort of road orientated mechanical suspension, and that'll be your base model. It's still going to have the adjustable screen as we've seen, and all the electronics are probably very similar, maybe with some reduced off-road mode. So like other manufacturers have a standard off-road mode, whereas moving on to the S edition we're going to probably see additional off-road pro modes. We're certainly going to see the spoked tubeless tyres, the handguards, the crash bars for the extra protection, and the underslung skid pan as well, that we're not going to get probably on the standard version. Yeah, so obviously the electronic suspension, potentially lowering itself at a stop for those with shorter legs. Price wise, is nothing's been released, just the same as the weight of these motorcycles from Harley Davidson, although on the weight front I'm not expecting it to be as heavy as people are thinking. That's probably due to them going for the chain drive on the rear rather than a more heavier shaft drive. Obviously the power, we've heard at 145 plus horsepower, 90 pounds-feet of torque, is going to be smack bang in the middle of the competition. Maybe for me, I suspect the audience, the Harley Davidson rider audience that are going to use this, maybe for a little more rougher roads than they take their touring motorcycle, but essentially it's going to be a touring motorcycle option for them rather than going for the bigger touring range. For me, that's where Harley Davidson probably should have gone for the low maintenance shaft drive option at the expense of some weight of the motorcycle. So back to the prices again, we've not heard anything official from Harley Davidson. What I'm hearing through some of my subscribers on YouTube, and thank you for posting some additional information that you've got insight into. They're looking in Europe of the standard model to be around 21,000 euros, so maybe 19-20k here in the UK. You know, $19,000 maybe in the US. With the off-road one coming in at sort of 23.5, probably 24,000 euro. So, you know, 24k here in the UK, and maybe $23,000 over in the US. So there we have it. That's my summary of what I expect we're going to see tomorrow at Harley Davidson Pan America launch. If you've liked this insight and the detail I've been able to provide you ahead of the launch, then please hit subscribe, hit that bell icon, and you'll get notified as soon as I pump out another video. Thanks for watching.